Guys, I'm for Supergirl, Season 1, Episode 14, Truth, Justice, the American Way, and it's been a while since I reviewed Supergirl. I mean, I meant to review this episode, like, the four weeks ago when it came out, but unfortunately, I just didn't have time. As you guys know, it's very busy with my musical, and I just didn't have time for it, unfortunately. But now, I am catching up because the Supergirl Flash crossover's tonight. I really want to watch it, and that's really the main reason. Because of that crossover, I really want to see it. I think this is a good time to catch up. I have 4 episodes to review, but, you know, I reviewed 3 episodes of Vinyl, I reviewed 3 episodes of American Crime Story. I'm pretty sure I can review 4 episodes of Supergirl. Let's just get into this episode. I overall really did enjoy this episode. There were some things that I didn't love about it, but there were some things I really liked about it. Let's just get into it, because like I said, in no way my favorite episode, definitely in no way my favorite, but there were some things I definitely really loved. There were some really strong things about this episode, but then there were some things that really weren't great, but let's just get into it. We start with Kara and Alex, which you guys know I love their scenes. Some of the strongest scenes in the show have been Kara and Alex because they just work so well together. And they're at Kara's apartment, and they're basically talking about everything that happened at Catco with Adam and Kat, and Alex hugs her. And Kara says that she misses Astra. She's sure that she was getting through to her, and with a little more time, she had gotten her through. One more time, she probably had gone through to her, and Alex starts to tell her sister that she was the one who killed Astra. As we know, Kara thinks that, Hank is the one that did it, but of course it was, in fact, Alex, and Non then arrives via the balcony window. He tells Kara that she needs to come with him, and he's coming for Astra rather than himself. Kara agrees, leaves with Non, and basically the other Kryptonians are floating in the air above the city with a container holding Astra's body. Non says that Astra would have wanted Supergirl there, and that is their custom for the surviving female family member to lead the prayer for the dead. Supergirl performs the prayer, and Non sends the container off into space. He then tells Supergirl that he will observe the period of mourning and then kill her. So he's definitely going after Supergirl, you can tell. But we don't see Non after this scene, basically. Supergirl flies to the DEO headquarters, tells Hank that Non will return in 2 weeks, and we're going to see him again in 2 weeks. You know, basically it shows we're going to see him again in 2 episodes, and I heard we do. So she insists that Non will follow the proper mourning period and snaps at Hank when he suggests otherwise. You can tell that Hank and Supergirl are starting to clash in this episode, which I thought was very interesting, but they definitely are starting to clash in this one. Vasquez comes over, tells Supergirl that Max is demanding to see her, and once Supergirl leaves, Alex tells Hank that they have to tell Supergirl the truth. They have to let her know that she was the one that killed Astra, and he assures his subordinate that he can take Supergirl hating her, and Supergirl needs to blame him so that she can keep going, because if she knew that Alex could do it, she'd probably stop. She'd be really upset. She wouldn't really know how to go on, and they need to keep going on. That's just what they need. They need Supergirl right now. That's really what's going on. So Lord greets Supergirl, reminds her that she owes her for saving her life, and he insists that he's just trying to protect Earth, screams at her that she'd be dead without him, because of course, you know, she doesn't know that he really saved her, and Supergirl insists that the world's a better place without him, walks out, and even though he did help her, I mean, he's still a criminal. He's still a criminal. He's still a bad guy, and right now, everyone seems to be kind of, you know, Max, they're clearly trying to continue with the Max Lord storyline. I don't really know why. I've never been a fan of Maxwell Lord as a character, but I like that they are trying to do more with him. But the next, I don't really know why they're trying to do more with him saying. So the next day, Kara arrives at work with Kat's coffee. Wynn tells her they have a problem. Before he can explain, Kara discovers that there's a new desk belonging to Sibohan Smythe. And this was by far some of my favorite stuff in the episode. I love this character, Sibohan. I really like seeing her in the show. And Kat comes in, Sibohan comes over. She even says her name correctly, which Kara's surprised about. The fact that she actually says Sibohan and not, you know, like she calls Kara Kira. She actually knows her name right. And the CEO explains that she hired another assistant to help Kara, and Siobhan gives Kat hand-pressed coffee. Kat takes Siobhan's coffee, tells Kara to cover the phones while Siobhan joins her in her office, and once they go in, Wynn comes over, and Kara figures that Kat is trying to teach her a lesson, and Siobhan's a pawn, and she insists that she feels sorry for Siobhan, but Wynn tells her it's okay for Kara to be upset. Kara tells Wynn that she isn't upset, and Kara breaks her phone, which I thought was pretty funny. You can tell that she is definitely upset, because obviously, Siobhan's now taken over, and this is the position that Kara, I think, really wanted. She wants a more higher-ranking position. I think she kind of deserves a more higher-ranking position, and she's obviously upset that a new girl has taken it, and also she sees that Siobhan definitely, you know, I think Kat likes her more, and obviously she's kind of upset about that, you can tell. Which, again, I think she has a right to be upset. So once Wynn goes back to his desk, Kara listens in via super hearing, hears Kat telling James and Lucy that there's a major glitch in Lord's new phone that lets the last caller eavesdrop on the next caller, and she wonders why Lord sent his PR hack out to make a statement, figures that the man is missing, and I loved the scene where she's like, alright, either three things are going on here. One, he wants to have a date. Two, he's disappeared. Or three, he has some new scheme, and she basically thinks that it's the latter, that he's basically been kidnapped. James tries to misdirect Kat's suspicions, but she figures that something's up, there's definitely something going on, and Kat says that it is her burden to save Lord and dismisses Sibohan, and of course she doesn't know what's going on with Lord and everything, and that they basically sent him away, and she then tells Lucy to check her contacts at the Pentagon, and James to start investigating, and outside James tells Carr that they need to talk. Sibohan interrupts, starts flattering him, and James quickly leaves with Carr once they're alone. James asks what he's supposed to do when he knows where Lord is, and he's worried that the DEO are holding Max without due process, and that, basically he's doing this all alone. Carr points out that Lord's lawyers would have Lord out in 2 minutes, and Sibohan watches through the window as James tells Carr that it is not the DEO's ethics that he's worried about. Definitely it's not that. And at the DEO headquarters, Hank greases agents on a rogue Fort Ross prisoner who has been hiding out in National City using the alias Gabriel Phillips, and he feeds off rotting flesh and has been spotted at an abandoned warehouse. And Alex leads the team to a warehouse and they break in. A man calls for help. Alex finds Gabriel chained up to a car. A figure moves out of the shadows, starts blasting down agents. He's proof against small arms, flies off of Gabriel. Really good action in this episode, honestly. I really will say that. There was some great action in this episode, really intense stuff. And when Alex returns to DEO, Hank deliberately doesn't call Supergirl and confirms with Alex that the abductor was using advanced alien technology. Supergirl arrives. Hank explains that he wanted to give her some time off because he just feels she deserves it after everything she's been through. And I kind of see Hank's point, especially after being kidnapped and especially after almost dying and whatnot. It might be the best, and especially after losing Astra, she might need some time off. But she angrily says that she wants to be involved in any case involving the Fort Ross prisoner. She does not want time off, and Hank suggests that Gabriel could be wanted for crimes on other worlds, and they start checking with the NCPD to see if any missing persons have turned up. And the abductor, Master Jailer, locks Gabriel in a cell, informs that he knows that he's an alien. He warns that Gabriel has broken the law and has forfeited his right to exist. Gabriel points out that there is no death penalty on Krypton, and Master Jailer says that they're not on Krypton, and the prisoner says that he knows who Master Jailer is. Master Jailer decapitates him with an energy guillotine, which, that was crazy. That scene really was insane. And Master Jailer, I will say, was a very good villain. I enjoyed his character overall. I thought he was threatening, and I thought they did a good job with him. But the next day, Alex and Hank pose as FBI agents and meet with Detective Warren and Draper at the NCPD, and they show him a photo of Master Jailer, and Alex likes to point out they have less crime to deal with since Supergirl arrives, and Warren excused himself. Draper apologized for his partner's manners. He says that Master Jailer just kidnapped and killed 5 people down by the river, each one decapitated. The mayor has kept it quiet, and the police have learned that all the prisoners were aliens. And basically, Carr and Sibohan are working at their desks. Sibohan finally texts Carr and asks if she and James are involved, and Carr denies it. And Sibohan texts back that she doesn't believe her. Carr snaps at her just right there, and Kat comes in, reprimands her, and points that Sibohan as an example because Siobhan's being quiet. Very funny scene. Like I said, the Siobhan, Kat, and Carr and Win stuff, I thought was actually very funny. I really enjoyed it. Alex then tells Carr that they need her at the DEO. Carr excuses herself. Siobhan already knows what Kat wants for lunch, and Carr assures Carr that she'll do her job, which, again, Siobhan's, like, so ahead of Carr, which makes sense, because Carr's, distracted by being Supergirl and things like that, but as Carr goes, Siobhan winks at Win, and you can tell right away that Siobhan is definitely taking a liking to him, which I kind of like this. I think Win honestly needs someone else. Him and Carr are on a very awkward patch right now, and I think he kind of needs someone like Siobhan. So Lucy visits James, shows him the plates of the cars they spotted at Lord's company. She knows that they belong to a secret government agency that tracks aliens and figures that they're involved with Lord's discovery. And here's where I didn't really like this, honestly. I like Lucy as a character. I don't think she's bad by any means. But what they did in this episode I thought was kind of dumb. James vaguely says they shouldn't pursue the lead and warns Lucy that they shouldn't mess with the DEO. She realizes that he knows who they are, figures that Supergirl told her. Lucy wonders how close James and Supergirl are angrily walks out. Remember, she's upset that James and Superman know each other so well. She's very upset about that. but also the fact that James and Supergirl know each other. I really don't want them to be setting up a love triangle here with her saying like, oh, are you in love with Supergirl? I thought this was just really unnecessary drama. They've really been giving James not great stuff lately. I've liked his character overall, but lately they really haven't been giving him that great of stuff, and Lucy's a good example of that. And this Lucy and James stuff, I don't really like it. It's not really working for me anymore, and all that stuff I just wasn't a fan of. But everything else I thought was fine. At the DO, Hank and Alex work out that all 5 victims were Fort Ross prisoners, and Alex realized that they're being killed in order of their prisoner numbers. Since Gabriel was 2444, the next victim is 2445, which I thought this was very interesting. Master Jailer confronts Professor Luzano and orders him to reveal his true face. Luzano runs and Master Jailer easily brings him down with a throw baton. Supergirl arrives, Master Jailer attacks her with high-tech chains. She manages to grab them and they engage in a tug-of-war. He tries to ensnare her, but Supergirl knocks him back. He manages to ensnare her to the surrounded pillars, and by the time she frees herself, Master Jailer has escaped, and obviously that's a problem. So Kat finds James out on the balcony, joins him. He claims that he's enjoying the view, but she figures that it's something personal. There's more going on, and I like this scene with Kat and James. And I mean, it shows that Kat really does care about her employees. Even though she can be kind of a bitch at times, she does care about employees. And I mean, we've known this. I mean, some of the best scenes we've had have been with Kat, and like I said, I really think Calista Flockhart is really understanding this character very well. She finds James out on the balcony, joins him. He claims he's enjoying the view, but she figures that it's something personal. That there's definitely more going on, and Kat talks about how she was assigned to do a gossip article about an actor, and she finally learned that the actor beat his wife, but she caved to the studio's PR hack's pressure. 3 months later, the actor shot his wife in the head, and every day Kat considers whether she could have saved the wife's life, and says they're journalists because they want to be good people, and that's really what it's about. They want to get good stories, they want to show their side of things, and that's kind of what's going on there. It was a good scene. It shows that James is a good person, even though he doesn't think he is. And I like that scene, definitely. It was a good way for her to motivate him, and I definitely enjoyed that. I like that she actually cared about what he was going through. So Supergirl takes the chains to the DEO. They discover that it's made of black silver aloe. Hank says that Allura put away Luzano, and Supergirl angry says that he can't discuss her family. Vasquez comes in, says that James wants to see Supergirl. They talk, and Supergirl says they've captured the most dangerous man on the planet. James points out that now the DEO are holding humans without any accountability, and explains that Lord is terrified by Supergirl's ability to hold him. He explains that Supergirl stands for something, and what she's doing isn't strength. And James then tells Supergirl that Sibohan told Kat about it, and warns his friends to look for her. And Alex calls Supergirl out into the hallway, says that the metal baton is covered in human DNA. They have a match with Warren. Warren and Draper are on the streets. Draper tells Warren that another alien went missing, and Supergirl drops down in front of their car, tells Warren that they need to talk. Alex comes up behind them with a gun and orders Draper to stand away. Warren says that he's one of the good guys. Draper says his partner's telling the truth. He shoots Alex and Warren and then activates his Master Jailer armor. Alex wakes up a few minutes later, confirms that her Kevlar vest protected her and that there's no sign of Supergirl. Alex tells Hank that Master Jailer took Supergirl, and obviously that's a huge problem because obviously, they need Supergirl. And, Supergirl then wakes up in a cage, bathed in red light. Luzano's in another cell. Honestly, quite an intense scene. You don't really know she's going to be able to get out of this one. She suggests that the light mimics the red sun of Krypton, and he explains that he was born on Starhaven, and one of his wives fell ill. He became a drug smuggler to pay for his wife's medical expenses, was caught in his first run, sentenced to Fort Ross by Allura, and basically Luzano points out that he hated Allura at first, but eventually understood that one tragedy couldn't be undone by another, and when he escaped, he became a professor and taught astronomy. And it really gave him good backstory. It showed Luzano like they tried to get us to care about his character. I actually kind of really cared about him here. Master Jailer comes in, said that justice has come for Luzano. Supergirl tells him to remove his mask, and Draper does so. And at the DEO, Alex works out the Master Jailer will soon kill Supergirl. Hank assures Alex that they'll find her. Alex suggests that Draper was a guard rather than a prisoner. She checks the records and come up with a match, and Alex figures out that Draper's recreating Fort Ross on Earth. Vasquez reports that they've traced Draper's GPS signal and located him in a cabin outside of National City. Draper tells Supergirl that Allura would be proud of her for punishing those who sin, and that she's doing the right thing for that. And Supergirl insists that it isn't what she's been doing, and that, she's not punishing people, but she is bringing people to justice. And Draper suggests that they join forces so they can carry on Allura's great work. He insists that he's protected Earth and justice may be absolute. And this kind of reminded me of the Punisher and Daredevil, the way that Draper's kind of saying that, look, we're kind of the same person, we're on the same team, we both want the right thing. I mean, it really shows that that in his eyes, he's really not doing anything wrong. And that's what a great villain should be. A villain should never think they're doing anything wrong here. And Draper releases Luzano, tells him the justice is upon him, and that really he just wants to join forces and be the more violent one, which Supergirl clearly does not want. Alex takes out a team to Draper's cabin. They move in. Luzano says he hasn't hurt anyone, but Draper orders him into the guillotine. The DEO agents prepare to break into the cabin. Supergirl tells Draper to kill her instead of Luzano, and Draper realizes they'll have to kill her as well because she's not going to listen. And basically, the DEO agents break in. They search the place. The cabin's empty. There's no sign of Supergirl. Master Jailer prepares to execute Luzano. Luzano says he's scared to die, but asks Master Jailer to grant his last request. Releases Supergirl. Master Jailer refuses, and he's not going to do that. Alex notices a glow from beneath the floorboard. She pries open the boards, find Draper's escape ship. They ask for C4. Supergirl tells Luzano to look at her. Master Jailer prepares to lower the blade. Alex rappels in firing, attacks Master Jailer. He attacks her and the other agents, and Master Jailer then grabs her, forces her head back onto the guillotine. Alex fires into the ceiling, opening a hole to let the sunlight in on Supergirl. She breaks free. Supergirl breaks free, and she ignores Master Jailer's weapons blast, knocks off his helmet, then chokes him for a moment. Luzano asks what happens to him, and they defeated Master Jailer, and honestly, very good villain. Like, I understood what he was trying to do. He was trying to bring people to justice, but he was just doing it in the most violent way possible, and wasn't at all being a hero. He was doing basically what the Punisher was doing. He kills people on his terms, and he kills them when he feels they need to die. So, Supergirl takes Luzano back to his university. He wonders why she's letting him go. Supergirl says he already served his time, and she literally tells him that her name is Kara. Like, she literally says her identity right in front of him, which I thought was very interesting. The fact that she actually said who he was. And I guess it's because he already knew Alora, so she just said, alright, call me Kara, because he knew about it. But it kind of makes me think we're going to see Luzano again. I mean, just his character and everything. I feel like we're going to see him again just for whatever reason, just the way they showed him in this episode. I feel like this is not the last we've seen Luzano. We're definitely going to see him again. So at the DEO, Supergirl and Alex tell Lord that he's free to go. He wonders why, and Supergirl said that it's the right thing to do, that they should just set him free, that if, they want to be a hero, the best thing is to set him free. Alex says that Supergirl's a better person than Lord. Lord wonders how they can trust him not to expose him to the world, and Supergirl says that she doesn't. All she can do is hope that Lord will listen to his better angles, and they don't know if he's going to, but they just know it's the right thing to do to release him. They don't want to hold him hostage anymore. And once Supergirl leaves, Alex tells Lord that they have a dossier on his crimes. We'll release him if he exposes them, and amused, Lord leaves, knowing that they're on to him. Obviously, he's kind of, humored by that. So the next day at Catco, Kara arrives at work. Sibohan tells her that she did all of her work for her, and irritated, Kara said that she tried being nice and she doesn't like her. Sibohan says she's there to be the next Cat and will soon be a junior reporter that will work her way up to a major celebrity. Kara then visits James, and obviously, you can tell that Sibohan really is just a mini version of Cat, and Kara clearly does not want her there, which I like seeing this. Like I said, I like this conflict. I think it's kind of funny to see Kara dealing with someone like this, and I'm interested in seeing really how this goes. But Kara then visits James, thanks him for pushing her to do the right thing. He says she makes him better too, and then explains that Lucy caught him lying, and James wants Kara's permission to tell Lucy the truth, but Kara says nothing. She doesn't know if this is really the right time to do that, and I like the way this is being set up, that she actually wants to tell Lucy who she is, but she doesn't really know if she should be doing this, because it might not be the time to do that. And I think she should have done this a couple episodes ago, but now she doesn't know if she should really be doing that, because she doesn't really know if she can trust Lucy. So later the DEO, Supergirl talks to the Alora AI, explains that she met a Fort Ross prisoner who didn't hate either one of them. It makes Supergirl feel closer to Alora, and then asks about Myriad, and this is very weird. The AI says it's not authorized to discuss Myriad. We don't know what Myriad is, but it warns that continuous questions about it will result in self-destruction. Hank comes in, shuts down the AI. Supergirl insists that Hank should have found another way to deal with Astra. She says that she can't work beside Hank, and leaves. Like, she can't work with him anymore. She leaves, and I don't know what's going to happen, but she literally just left Hank, and what is it about Myriad? Why can't the AI discuss that? I think it's very interesting what's going on there. That's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. Is this the time for Kara to tell Lucy? I mean, James seems to think it is, but is it really the time? I mean, after everything that's happened, is this really the time for her to tell her? I don't really know. That's definitely going to be interesting to see if she actually does tell Lucy what's going on. I'm interested in seeing actually what does happen there. As far as Lord goes, Alex clearly does not trust Lord. Like, she kind of wants to, but at the same time, she doesn't, so I think that's very interesting what's going on there. I like the conflict between Sibohan and Kara, with Sibohan wanting Kat's job. I think that's kind of funny the way that that's going. But this whole James and Lucy conflict, they really do need to end. I hope that Kara for the sake of the plot, does tell Lucy that she's Supergirl, because it will end the stupid James and Lucy drama. Like I said, James hasn't had, I think, that great of a plot in a while, and I think if they just, if Kara does admit her secret to Lucy, it might be the best thing for this plot. I definitely would love to see that happen. But overall, guys, really great episode. Definitely really enjoyed. Like I said, a very powerful force. I think Master Joe was a very good villain. I really like the way that he was done. He wasn't cheesy either. Like, you understood his motivation. He was actually very menacing. But I have 3 other episodes to watch, and I will see you guys for that, which will be for episode 15 of Supergirl, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.